Hello, welcome back to the Divided We Fall podcast. I'm Jake,
And I'm Greg.
and today we have a bit of a different format to the studio. We're both at our own houses. We're recording on our desktops. Lindsay's not here. She's not feeling too well, so we thought this would just be easier, more convenient. But today we're going to be talking about Texas and is it Michigan, Georgia, Mississippi, same thing. They both reopened, and how we feel about it, and how we think Pennsylvania, our home state, should open up. Tom Wolf.
So, to start off, as a lot of people might know, because it has been a huge topic of discussion, Governor Abbott of Texas has announced that Texas is open 100%. Businesses are allowed to have full capacity, and he's removing the penalty of law for mask mandates. He still says and suggests that the people of Texas wear masks, but they can't be fined anymore. They can't be penalized for it on the government level. Businesses can still have mask mandates, which is what I have been advocating since the beginning. Is businesses say you have to wear a mask to enter. Yeah. And if they don't wear a mask to enter, it's the same policy of no shirt, no shoes, no service. If they're not wearing the mask, you don't have to serve them. It's your private property. So you can kick them out. It's like if someone came into your home and you're like, you got to wear a mask in my home, and they don't wear a mask, you can tell them to leave. Yeah. They're not trespassing.
Or just in general, it doesn't have to be a mask if you don't want someone in your house.
Or if someone wants to, you don't want someone in your house. You have to ask, if you ask them to leave and they don't leave, then they are now breaking the law and they're now trespassing. You no longer are going to get fined or arrested for not having a mask on. It's more just the trespassing part. This is the same thing in Mississippi. The response from the president was not very kind. We wanted to talk a lot about how former President Trump was not very nice. Biden wasn't very nice the other day, calling it Neanderthal thinking to remove the mandates for mask wearing. Now, to be fair, President Trump did say a lot worse. He was a lot more to the bone with his comments, scathing. But for someone who wants to claim a message of unity and then is going to go around like this and start attacking governors who believe that it is in the people's best interest and people can decide for themselves whether or not they need to wear a mask to feel safe. Because what about the people who have gotten the vaccine? What about the people who have had COVID in the past and now have the antibodies? There's a lot of science that we have found out. There's a lot of science that we're still trying to find out. But, it feels like these governors are now allowing people to make their own decisions. And they think, because apparently how I see it, how I believe it, is if the governor is telling you you need to wear a mask, they don't believe that you are capable of making your own decisions and being smart. The government does not need to be involved in your life. The government needs to stay as far away from your life as physically possible, because the government's job is only protect the citizenry. That's its only job. Make sure the citizens are safe. It's not, give you free health care, tell you to wear a mask. It's keep you safe through defense, border control, and things like that. Not, staying out of the home. That's the whole point of what I'm trying to get to. Now, according to some Texas data, the cases have stagnated in Texas. Now, the new confirmed cases as of yesterday was around 8,000 new confirmed cases. But that is stagnant. From October to March, cases have stagnated. And it's been a pretty consistent, line.
I feel like Texas would be a pretty good place to live. They seem to know what they're doing.
You're allowed to own a flamethrower in Texas. You're allowed to open carry a sword.
Doesn't Elon live there now, right?
Yeah, Elon Musk lives there now. You can also open carry a sword in Texas. Did you know that?
What?
if I had to live anywhere other than PA, it'd be Texas. That just sounds like a fun place.
I'd say North Texas, where it's still kind of cold, but like.
Yeah, I do need the cold. I do not like the warm. Today's weather is actually perfect for that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so their cases have stagnated. Same thing in Mississippi. Their cases have stagnated. If you look at states like Florida, who have never had a governmental, the government didn't tell them that they had to wear masks in Florida. I visited Florida in January. Businesses still had signs that said, "We recommend you wear a mask," or "Please wear a mask if you come in." But they can't. The governor and said counties cannot enforce fines or lock people up for not wearing a mask. And Florida's cases have been pretty stagnant as well. They've apparently they're actually going down. Now, some people might disagree. Can't disagree with graphs.
I also feel like it's a thing. I'm not sure. This might just be going back a couple months. When you remove a mask, 6 feet becomes a lot more important. When you have a mask on and you're standing toe to toe next to someone, you really don't care. I see it all the time when I go into school. Kids who have masks on, and they're like kind of just next to each other. They don't really care. But when they take them off, it's like, oh, dude, whoa, what are you doing, man? Like, put it back on.
Yeah, I mean, I think that also comes to like the stigma of like, oh, spooky, scary virus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a virus either way, deadly or not to some people. You don't want to get it.
I mean, my family has been has experienced COVID. My sister had COVID. My mom, I believe, she tested positive for COVID. Mm-hmm. She wasn't symptomatic, so that could have been a false positive. Could have been a positive asymptomatic. Don't know. My cousin had COVID while I was actually in Florida. We found out that he tested positive back in Philly for COVID. So my family has had COVID. We've experienced COVID. We survived COVID as a family. Now I know not a lot of people can say that, but we're a relatively healthy family. Mm-hmm. We try and eat healthy. We try and be as active as you can in COVID times. With lockdowns, especially in Pennsylvania, it's kind of hard. When we had, what was it, like 3 feet of snow? Almost 4 feet of snow? I don't know. A week.
I still see a lot of people walking their dogs at like any time of day, any kind of weather. They just want to get out.
Speaking of that, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been seeing people walking their dogs at like 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, that too. What is that?
I don't know. But they're by themselves. At 11 o'clock at night. COVID friendly. They're safe.
And they're wearing black. They're not wearing bright colors either.
Yeah, they're not.
Dude, what are you doing?
Wearing anything reflective. They're not wearing anything reflective. Now, let's get to Pennsylvania real quick. The average daily cases of COVID, if you look between April to March, April to October, were pretty stagnant. They went from high to low. And then in like late October, September, December, and into January, the COVID cases skyrocketed per day. Mm-hmm. By skyrocketed, about 7,000, 10,000, 11,000, 12,000, what I'm looking at per day. Now, compared to Texas, that's their average COVID cases a day.
Yeah.
So for Pennsylvania, that is a sharp increase because we were averaging around 500 to 1,000 cases a day in October and over the summer and early fall. Entering into January, though, the cases started dropping significantly. And currently in March, our average cases are in the about 2,000 range per day.
Yeah.
And they're only going down. It's trending down. And if you also want to look, we have all the graphs and stuff up. We'll have them all in the description. The average testing is also way up for the months of October into March. So it's not like we're not testing. We just yesterday, or I'm dating the video, on March 4th.
Yeah.
53,763 tests were done on March 4th, of those tests done, 2,476 were positive. So, it's not like we're not testing people. It's not like people aren't getting tested. People are getting tested by the tens of thousands in Pennsylvania, according to our statistics, if these are not lying like Governor Cuomo.
People are so eager to just get rid of this lockdown, whatever the hell. We want to get rid of our masks so much. We're willing to just do whatever, but...
So, I mean, I'm not opposed to businesses saying, if you come into my establishment, you have to wear a mask.
No, that's their decision.
I've been saying that from the beginning. Exactly, it's their decision. What I have had a problem with is the penalty of law and fines for not wearing a mask.
That was so stupid. Oh my god.
That is, and people have been fighting it, and like the closing of businesses, people have been fighting this since the beginning in Pennsylvania. There were 2 major protests in Harrisburg. There are people talking about, with the opening of Texas and Mississippi, possibly a 3rd protest in Harrisburg to have Governor Wolf open up Pennsylvania. Because I'm looking at the statistics of the total cases in Pennsylvania. 944,196 total cases in Pennsylvania. Out of the total tests, total PCR tests, we had 10,629,284. Less than 1 million of our tests were positive. The negatives were 4 million, about just under 4 million negative cases in Pennsylvania.
Whack.
Of the total people who had coronavirus, 91% recovered. 91% of people have not been of those total cases have recovered. Why aren't we open? We're able to deal with it.
Yeah.
Hospitals are not overflowing.
It's because the big man upstairs wants to play politics.
Governor Wolf wants to play politics, exactly. We have... Our cases are dropping. Our testing is up. 91% people recovered.
Yeah, it's so strange. Like, seeing... And I've talked to so many people how, like... And it's a difference in opinion. And you said you saw this with your campers, too. It's like... Oh, do you like Donald Trump? No. Do you want to wear a mask? No. That kind of thing. Like in high school, everyone's just like, oh, I hate Donald Trump. I hate Donald Trump. But then there's some kids who are like, I don't want to wear my mask, but I'm going to wear my mask because I want to help people. I'm like, okay, but you don't want to wear your mask. I know how you feel because that's how I feel.
No one wants to wear their masks. No one wants to. Anybody who says, I want to wear a mask, you're lying. You're lying to everybody. You're lying to yourself. Don't lie to yourself. Now, yes, you might have this moral feeling of, I'm going to wear a mask to save people. But it's itchy. It's sweaty. It's gross. They sometimes smell if you forget to wash them. You have to smell your own breath.
Well, that one's your own fault.
Oh, yeah, and you also have to smell your breath if you didn't brush your teeth in the morning.
But don't even get me started on the double mask thing. Holy God.
I will scream. Don't even talk about the double masks. Fauci, don't even bring him up. I don't even want to talk about him. If we ever talk about him on the show, I swear to God.
He has to be one of the most hypocritical men of our modern times in the past past year.
It takes a lot for me to actually dislike and hate somebody. I dislike and hate Fauci. I'm sorry. I've never liked Mr. Puppet Man. No. He looks like a Muppet. I don't like him.
Yeah. He looks like in
moving
the Muppets,
away from that.
In the Muppets, the guys who sit on the audience thing, the two old dudes in the Muppets.
Yeah, one of the old. It's him and Biden up there.
What did he say?
So, Governor Wolf, the ball's in your court. Are we going to reopen?
Probably not.
Probably not.
But if we have enough protests, that's just send the message that people are willing to die for the state to open up.
Yeah, like in the height of COVID, when it was the height of COVID, April, May of last year, people were protesting. I was protesting at both. April and May, I was at both of them. That was supposed to be the height of COVID.
People are willingly putting their lives on the line saying, hey, trust us. Trust the people to do the right thing. You don't have to helicopter our lives in order to know that we'll be fine. Leave it up to the businesses. If someone wants to go out and get something to the grocery store, I imagine Acme, ShopRite, all those big, like giant, those big grocery store companies will in some way enforce a mask policy.
I guarantee small businesses will too.
Right. But of course there's the other some that don't. Maybe like your dad's business, he's an outside worker most of the time, right?
Yeah, but he doesn't like own a facility.
Right, but I imagine he won't. I guess it's up to the company. He doesn't want to. But knowing that it's up to the businesses to decide, people will then be peer pressured and societally pressured into wearing a mask because that's what they feel is right. Not because the government tells them what to do, it's because what the people tell them what to do. Because the people decide, hey, let's keep each other safe. This is what we want to do, not what big bald man upstairs wants to do.
Like, exactly. Like, why can we not trust the people to make the right decision? If we can't trust the populace to make the right decision...
It's not we can't trust, it's him can't trust. Him and Rachel Levin can't trust.
If we want to go with the more collective we, because there are people who put their trust in Wolf and Levin to make these decisions, so therefore they distrust the populace.
Yeah.
If we can't trust the general population to make the right decision of their own regard, how can we then trust Wolf and Rachel Levin, the two people who have been kind of really strong-arming the entire state, to make the decision? They are humans too. Mm-hmm. They were once general population until they were either A, appointed to Rachel Levin, or elected by Wolf. God, they look similar. They look similar, and
that's transphobic. Better watch yourself.
Biden and Wolf?
Oh, I thought you said Levin.
No, I meant Biden and Wolf. They look similar. No, Rachel Levin looks like Mitch McConnell. Or vice versa. Now, what we could also do, and what I've been advocating since the beginning, is... Side note, don't cancel me. Jokes. Humor. Haha. Let counties decide. Let the counties have, more power. If, Philadelphia County has, 100,000 new cases a day, and they feel that is, they need to then stop, lock, put it in your pocket, whatever. They need to stop what they're doing. Then stop what they're doing. But if, Lehigh County or Center County or Beaver County or Washington County or any of these counties out west or in the middle of the state who are probably not experiencing COVID as tough as a packed city, let them have their own lighter restrictions.
Pennsyltucky.
Out in Pennsyltucky. Let Pennsyltucky have lighter restrictions. Let it
live. Let it breathe.
Because there are definitely counties out in the middle of Pennsylvania who are probably not experiencing COVID as bad as places like Allegheny County or Harrisburg or Philadelphia County or the surrounding suburbs of Philadelphia County, because they're also pretty highly populated.
AKA us.
AKA us. According to the DOH, Department of Health in Pennsylvania,
fun.
Susquehanna County, total cases less than 2,000. What? 2,000. What did I just say? 2,000?
2,000?
2,000?
Susquehanna, not Susquehanna.
Susquehanna County.
This isn't a fucking Disney movie.
Look. You're lucky I could even make English happen right now. I'm basically Joe Biden when it comes to just speaking. Susquehanna County.
Susquehanna.
Less than... Do you want to... Susquehanna County.
Thank you.
Susquehanna County. Less than 2,000 cases.
2,000 county.
Downey County, less than 2,000 cases. Wyoming County, well, a little over 1,000 cases. Why not let those counties open up?
Is there a threshold number where counties can open up or close? Or is it
Nope.
up to... Okay.
It's up to Wolf. Wolf said no.
Bad dog.
Close them down.
Man.
Like, I don't know. I think that Pennsylvanians and just Americans and people in general, yes, there are a lot of stupid people, but businesses can enforce their own mask policies if they want to. Most probably will.
Mm-hmm.
Most probably will enforce their own mask mandates. In Texas, I believe Walmart and I think it was Costco. I can't remember. Don't quote me. I know it was big businesses. Some big businesses that are stationed in Texas and Mississippi said, we're still going to keep our mask mandates.
Applause.
Congratulations. You did what everybody wanted you to do from the beginning.
Yeah.
Fox News had two business owners on from Texas. One of the business owners says, I'm going to put a sign out that says masks recommended, but if you walk in without a mask, I'm not going to kick you out. He still has the sign. It says recommended, but then they had another woman on there who owned a massage therapy business, and she was going to require masks because she's more face-to-face. She's literally in people's faces massaging them.
Yeah.
She wants people to wear masks. That's perfectly fine.
And that's not a
argument is not.
That's not a difference in political views and business owners. That's just common sense.
Yeah, like the argument is not whether or not you should wear a mask. The argument is let people and businesses make their own decisions. They were smart enough to make a business that survived through COVID.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably smart enough to keep their business open after COVID.
If you own a golf course and say you have like a party of 4 coming into play on your grounds, yeah, maybe the guy inside the shack who's going to get the money wear a mask, but the marshal riding around doing whatever, he doesn't have to wear a mask. That's because he's outside. That makes sense. It's really up to the occupation of the business to decide what goes on. Get the government out of our society, not our society, get the government out of our lives as much as possible without it actually... Okay, not that far, Greg. We talked about the... Okay.
Anarchy.
No. Recede anarchy. Get it out. No. Get the government out as much of our personal lives as possible without crumbling democracy.
Or we can just crumble democracy.
Or we cannot crumble democracy.
Also on the...
Your libertarian is skyrocketing.
My libertarian is... Greg, your libertarian is showing. Also, according to the Pennsylvania Department of Health, COVID vaccines. Now, this has been... Pardon my French, but there's literally no other way to describe it. This is the best way. A fucking shit show. With COVID vaccines.
Mm-hmm.
We'll bleep it out if people get offended.
It's okay. Fuck.
Jesus. COVID vaccines. Total vaccines. This includes partial vaccination, so people who got the first shot, and full vaccinations, which means people got the second shot. Total at almost 3 million. Pennsylvania has about 12 million. I think it's around 11 million people.
Okay.
2,777,440 total vaccinations have been administered.
In Pennsylvania or the United States?
In Pennsylvania.
Okay.
1.9 million of those were partial vaccinations.
So they have yet to get their part 2?
They have yet to get their second vaccination.
Oh my god.
But 868,149 have received a full vaccination. And gradually, I'm looking at the graphs. Again, I recommend you check out the links in the description. We have stuff from Texas Department of Health, Florida Department of Health, Pennsylvania Department of Health. We're going to have Mississippi Department of Health. We're going to have some news articles. Please do your own research. Do not take what we say at face value. Mm-hmm. The graph seems pretty on an uptrend. There are some days that are really low, some days that are really high, but generally in a grouping of about a week, it looks like about a week span, there's a lot of vaccinations happening. As of, let me see here, as of March 4th, 31,525 vaccines total were, oh, I'm sorry, actually this is 31,525 received their first vaccination, while 26,880 received their full vaccination. That was March 4th alone.
Mm-hmm.
So it's happening. Things are happening. The day before that, it was a little higher. It was 43 partial, 30,000 full, and the day before that, it was 46,000 partial, 26,000 full. So, like I said, in about a span of a couple days, like 4 to 5 days, it seems like they kind of do a big dump of vaccinations, and then like they take a day off. Mm-hmm. That's literally what this graph looks like. If they just take a day off of vaccinating people, it looks like Sundays. Yeah, Sundays. They take a break. They take a break from vaccinating people on Sundays, and those numbers are really low. But
it's also not entirely their fault. Getting vaccinated, I heard from multiple different people, is a difficult process.
Especially here in Pennsylvania. There is no guidance. No. The government has done a horrible job at it. There are local pharmacies, like, small business pharmacies, not CVS or Walgreens, that haven't even been given access to give vaccines to people in their in their counties or in their local towns. There are some towns that don't have a CVS, that don't have a Walgreens, that don't have these big corporate pharmacies, so they only have the small town pharmacy, and they're not getting vaccinated with their frontline workers and their health officials, or they'll have to leave their county or leave their hometown to go find these bigger named pharmacies because they're small. The small business ones aren't getting them. Governor Wolf is doing a horrible job at managing this. And if people want to say, oh, it's not just him, he has an executive branch that helps him, Governor Wolf runs the executive branch. Governor Wolf and Rachel Levin, because she's not I don't know if she's at the Biden administration yet. She might be by the time the video goes out. But those two, or whoever's still helping him in the health department, are still doing a horrible job. Government bureaucracy is garbage, trash, horrible.
Dog water.
Dog water, even. Pennsylvania is ranked one of the worst when it comes to vaccinating the public.
But I've heard two things. I've heard one from my grandparents that like when they signed up on a website to get their vaccine or whatever so they could go in. Apparently the institution needed their tax information, their all this useless stuff. Like, you need to know how much I make per year. You need to know my salary. You need to You need to know my loans. I think it was my grandfather. He has he put a loan down for a Lincoln, and around the same time he needed to get vaccine, they asked for oh, do you have any loans? It was like, what?
Yeah, put a loan down for the Lincoln. Man, we can't get the vaccine today. Sorry, guys.
What I've also heard is someone, I forget who it was I was talking to, but their wife is a teacher, and she's mandatory at the school she works to get vaccinated. And getting on the website was just not working. So what he found out was that institutions and buildings that were dishing out these vaccines throw them out, any extras, at the end of the day. They don't restock them. Because if someone has a scheduled appointment, they don't show up, they throw out that vaccine.
What?
Yeah. Now, this is just hearsay, but that's what because the dude I was talking to was one of my teachers. He's a private teacher, whatever. He went in at night because before they were going to throw them out. And he's like, hey, my wife, she's a teacher. We couldn't get whatever, blah, blah, blah. Can we get the vaccine? They're like, yeah, sure. Better than throwing them out. And so they got the vaccine.
Did they not have a high shelf life, I guess?
I have no idea, but...
I don't know.
I can look it up and see if it's true or not, but...
We'll post that information on Facebook. I realize that this is getting to be kind of a longer one.
Yeah, this is 20 some minutes.
So we'll cut out the timestamp.
30 actually. Holy shit.
Yeah. So this is getting to be a longer one. So we're gonna wrap it up here. I want to thank everybody again for taking the time to listen to us. Again, Lindsay wasn't here, and we thought it'd be easier if we did it this way. Let us know in the comments if you prefer it this way, if you prefer it live, in person.
Also,
Right. Like, subscribe, do the thing. I don't know. How does YouTube work? We'll figure it out as we go.
The algorithm sucks, so do whatever helps us, please.
Thank you. Goodbye.